Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me. My name is Lauren, and I am about to guide you through a slow flow yoga practice where we're going to focus on spinal twists. So, we're going to focus on not just twisting the spine, but lengthening it always, pretty much always before we take a twist. We want to lengthen first and then come into the twist. So, really keep that in mind that, and I'll be cueing it as well, but think length first. No matter what orientation you're at, you're facing the ground, you're facing the sky, lengthen and then twist. But of course, that doesn't mean we're going to only twist the spine. We're going to do all movements of the spine. We're going to get into our hips, all the spaces, but just especially spinal twisting. So like everything though, you are in control of the stretch, pose, the intensity. You can take something more mild or more intense. That's up to you. And especially with twists, we can twist the upper, the mid, or the lower back, and they'll feel different. So don't think of twists as one. I mean, they are one big category, right? But they're not all created equal. So, like always, really, all I'm really getting at is just have an open mind, have no expectation of, oh, I know how I'm going to feel in this practice. I know what spinal twists make me feel like. I know how I'll feel. I guess what I'm trying to say is don't go into any yoga practice like that. Just see what happens. Each pose, each twist, each side might feel very different. So just keep that in the back of your mind. I think that's especially true with asymmetrical poses like twists. Okay, so for the practice, you're not going to need anything specific. You know, I always have 2 blocks and a blanket. Have it or don't have it, it's up to you, but we're going to start on our backs. So come on down onto your back. Make yourself comfortable. All right. So come on down onto your back. Make yourself comfortable. And really the intention here is, again, just to be comfortable. So legs long, maybe knees bent, or maybe you take a seated position. Maybe you want to sit in a chair, sit and lean up against the wall. You're welcome to do that. The first few movements we're going to do require us to be on our back. So I like to just be here anyways, but it is about finding a comfortable spot. So just find your comfortable spot. I've used this analogy in other yoga poses, finding your Goldilocks position where it's not too much, not too little. That applies to something like this, something like Shavasana. Find your Goldilocks position. Where do you feel like you have met sort of your perfect match, your perfect spot? So come into that space where you can just relax. Notice where your mind goes. In the moments of stillness and quiet, our minds often wander, and that's very normal. Can you pay attention to where your mind is going? And as you just notice where your mind is wandering off to, do this without judgments. You simply notice, hey, my mind went to thinking about work, or my mind started thinking about the weekend. Whatever it is. And resist the temptation to put a label or a judgment or an opinion on where your thoughts traveled off to. instead of reflecting on the fact that your mind is wandering and it quote unquote shouldn't, take this as an opportunity to get some feedback. When your mind is quiet, what comes up? What's been waiting for an opportunity to come up? What's something you maybe need to give some attention to? Now bring your focus to your breath. And just notice your breath. Can you notice your breath without judgment, without opinions, and just receive feedback? What's going on in your body? What's going on with your breath? What's going on in your mind? Any answer you receive it and accept it without judgment and as feedback. Stay for 3 more breaths. Now, returning back into your body and onto your mat. If it feels right for you, you're welcome to set an intention for your practice. Silently and slowly repeat a positive word or phrase and allow it to settle deeply into your heart. Slowly deepen your breath. Take deeper breaths, maybe even sigh. And then move around a little, maybe rock the head, wiggle fingers and toes. Take your time, adding gradual movements through the wrists, the arms, the ankles, and legs. Take several moments to move around however feels good. Again, we are going to start on our backs. So if you were not there, come on over. You got about 3 to 5 more breaths. All right. Okay. Knees bent, feet flat. Feet and knees about hip distance apart. Arms can come alongside the body, or better yet, out in opposite direction with the palms facing up. Let the backs of the hands, backs of the shoulders, back of the head really just relax. We're going to start with the pelvic tilt. So relax your feet. This isn't about your legs. It's not like you're doing a bridge. It's not about strengthening the legs. We just want movement in through the hips and lower back. So inhale, arch your back, lift your lower back and your ribs off the ground. So from a side profile, your spine looks like the shape of a rainbow. And then exhale, push your ribs and your lower back into the ground, pushing your entire spine flat into the mat. Inhale, lift up, point the belly button towards your thighs, arch your back, create a rainbow shape. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, belly button points towards your face, flattening the back, pushing it into the mat. Move with your breath. Inhale, arch. Exhale, lower. Inhale, arch. Exhale, lower. Now continue at your own pace. And then check in. Backs of the hands, backs of the shoulders, relaxed. Back of the head, heavy on the ground. Feet and legs relaxed. They're not pushing down into the ground. Again, it's not like a bridge. This here is more about movement, range of motion, flexibility, loosening things up, not about strength, not about exertion, not about tightening things. You want to loosen. Let's do just a couple more. And you probably noticed that whether you take my classes live or here, this is a movement I really, really like lately. And I hope that you see that there must be a reason behind it, right? So things like this are really great to loosen things up again, like I said. But this is a movement that all of some of the best therapeutic yoga teachers I've ever known have recommended this. On my first day in physical therapy, when I went for my lower back, he said, "You're doing pelvic tilts, right?" And I said, "Oh yeah." He said, "Okay, good." His first thing, it was one of the first things. So pelvic tilts, add them into your routine if you've got one or whatever. This is a great one. So here, let's just do one more of each. Okay, and then just come back to neutral. So just letting really everything relax. You're not pushing down, you're not lifting up. Right in the center. Okay, so feet might come together, feet and knees might come together, or they can stay hip distance, but now we're going to sway. Now we're going to gently twist. So let the legs just sway and drop to one side and then the other. All right. So moving slow and controlled, no rush, no hurry. We're going to keep the upper body still, back of the head heavy on the ground, keeping your nose and your heart facing the sky, facing the ceiling. But as you twist, your hip is going to come up off the ground. Your lower back's going to come up off the ground. It's like you're pointing your knees and your belly button over towards the sides. Now, as you're letting your legs move, let it be a very effortless action. Just really comfortable, swaying, gently twisting. I mentioned that we can twist different sections of the spine. This is more for the lower back. So notice how this feels here. This is another great movement if you've got lower back issues or the two movements that we just started with. I often recommend to students, even if you don't have lower back issues of any kind, couldn't hurt to still care for your lower back though, right? But if you just want to stretch and do yoga and you just don't know where to start, let's say you want to do some sun salutations, you want to do some warrior poses, but you're not sure like how to warm up and where to start, this is great. This cat and cow, absolutely. Okay, let's do just a couple more of these. Move at a slow, steady pace. One more to each side. All right, and then return to the center. Knees bent, feet flat. Come to neutral. Just take 2 or 3 breaths here. All right, inhale. Exhale, hug your knees into your chest. You can wrap your arms around your shins or the backs of your thighs. You can rock from side to side. Maybe you wiggle your toes, point and flex your feet, move a little at the ankles, but stay for 1 or 2 more breaths. All right, and then come on up. We're actually going to come up right into tabletop, so onto all fours. So we're going to be kneeling for a little bit. So you might want to bring the blanket under your knees. You might want to bring blocks to the top 2 corners of your mat. Okay. So I had already mentioned this, but cat and cow is another great way to move your spine, to warm it up. And since that's the focus of what we're doing in the practice, I really want us to do sort of all my favorite spinal movements. So from tabletop, inhale, drop the belly, drop the ribs, lift your chest, lift your heart, look forward. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, ribs to the sky, chin to the chest, look towards your belly button. Move with your breath. Inhale, drop the belly, drop the ribs, lift the chest, lift the heart, look forward. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, ribs to the sky, chin to the chest, look at your belly. Now imagine this movement traveling up your spine like a wave. Started at the pelvis. We're basically adding on to the pelvic tilt. So do a pelvic tilt, but then keep it going, keep it going, keep it going all the way up the spine to the crown of the head. And then continue in the opposite direction. Still starting at the tailbone, but into the opposite spinal direction, I should say. All right, 1 more of each. Okay, now return to neutral. All right, so I mentioned that we twisted for the lower back. Now we're going to twist for the upper back. This is going to feel really different from the movement we did before. So again, be open to any sort of potential sensation you might be feeling. All right, keep your left hand where it is. Spread the fingers, really lift up and out of the armpit. Pick up the right hand, reach your arm over to the right with the palm facing down. Inhale. Exhale, reach under your left armpit, thread the needle. Doesn't matter to me if you bend the left elbow or not, but inhale as you reach the right fingertips over to the right. Exhale, reach under the armpit, reach over to the left. Inhale, reach to the right. Exhale, thread the needle, reach under the armpit. Now you can reach over to the right, or maybe you inhale and reach your fingertips up to the sky, and then exhale, thread it through. But let's do 3 more like this, moving with the breath. Inhale, exhale. 2 more. Inhale, exhale. 1 more with the breath. Inhale, Exhale. Now we're going to take a longer hold. So one more time here. Inhale, reach up, lengthen and stretch. Exhale, thread it through. So you're going to reach your right arm all the way over to the left. The back of your hand will come down onto the ground. The right shoulder might come down. Your right temple might come down onto the ground. Let the right arm relax. Now check that your hips didn't pop over to the left too much. I know you can't see your thighs, but can they still be parallel to each other, perpendicular to the ground? Okay. All right. So basically, slide the hips over to the right a little. Okay. Now listen to your upper back. Left hand can stay exactly where it's at and just rest there. Left hand might crawl forward towards the top of your mat, almost like your arms, how they reach forward in child's pose. Maybe you sort of lift the palm and just come to the fingertips on that left hand, reaching, feeling length through the side body. Okay, now you could stay here. You might crawl the left hand back, take a half bind. The back of the left hand comes maybe by the lower back, maybe reaches around for the top of the right thigh. Then you're going to feel it in the front of the left shoulder. But to feel more in your upper back, the left hand comes under the left shoulder, sort of in front of your face, and you push the left hand down to draw the left shoulder back, like you're trying to shine your heart up towards the sky. Notice again how this feels in the upper and even the mid back. Keep sliding the hips over to the right. Take 3 deep breaths here. Now, wherever your left hand is, bring it back in front of your face. And if you were really pushing down, just let that left shoulder relax a little. Okay. Now, with the left hand in front of the face, push the left hand down and inhale. Reach right fingertips up one last time. Lengthen through the chest. And then exhale. Bring the right hand down. Give yourself a few moments before we switch sides. So maybe some cat and cows, maybe sway, wiggle around. All right. So come back into tabletop, right into a traditional tabletop. And just for a second, drop your head, look at your thighs. So again, what I meant was the thighs are parallel to each other. They sort of look like railroad tracks or like a sideways equal sign, but they're perpendicular to the ground. So like they make right angles. We want to keep that. The hips are going to want to pop to the side. It sort of gives you the illusion like, ooh, I'm in such a deep stretch. There's a lot of stretches where if we want to focus on your spine, the hips come with. People feel, ooh, I'm getting this great, beautiful stretch. Well, no, you kind of just brought the hips with you. So we want to make sure the hips just don't come with. All right. So from tabletop, spine and neutral, hips right where they're at. Keep the right hand down. Pick up the left hand. Left fingertips reach to the left. Inhale. Exhale, reach under your right armpit. Reach to the right. Right elbow can bend a little or straighten, doesn't matter to me. Inhale, reach over to the left. Exhale, reach under the right armpit, reach over to the right. Inhale, reach to the left. Exhale, thread the needle. Now we're going to keep going. Maybe you inhale and you reach up towards the sky, really stretch the chest, and then exhale, take the twist. But we're going to do 3 more with the breath. Inhale to stretch through the front. Exhale, rotate the upper back. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more with your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Now long hold here. So inhale 1 last time. Really reach, lengthen, stretch, broaden. Exhale, rotate into the twist. So reach the left arm over to the right. Back of the hand comes down. Shoulder might come down. Temple might come down. Now, your hips are going to probably be tempted to sway over to the right. So can you draw the hips over to the left a little? Again, you can't see your thighs, and that's fine. I can't see my thighs either. That's all right. But we're going to slide the hips over to the left because my guess is that all of our thighs or hips are sort of swayed over to the right. Okay, so the right hand, you've got options. The hand can just stay right where it was the whole time. Maybe it crawls forward, again, almost like you would in a child's pose, crawling the fingertips forward, lifting the elbow off the ground, really reaching. Then you'll feel a stretch through the right side of the body. Maybe if you want to stretch the front of your right shoulder, you take the half bind, right hand slides back, back of the hand slides around like it's reaching for your left hip, but make sure that you don't sort of chicken wing the arm. We want the forearm and the elbow into the body. Okay. Or to deepen the twist, bring the hand in front of the face, push the hand down, draw the right shoulder back, like you're shining your heart up towards the sky. Now keep drawing the hips to the left. Notice if your left toes started to sort of point over towards your right foot, because mine did. That meant my hips were coming with. Okay, now relax through that left shoulder. Relax throat, neck, and jaw. Stay for 3 breaths. Okay, now slowly bring that right hand back down in front of the right face. Release, pushing if you were. And with the right hand in front of the right face, with the right hand in front of the face, push the hand down. Inhale, reach right, left fingertips up. Exhale, bring it down. Take a few moments, wiggle around. One more breath. Okay. All right, we're going to make our way into some more movement soon. So I always like to clear anything off of the mat itself. Have the blocks close by. All right, tabletop. Walk the hands one whole handprint closer to the top of the mat. Spread the fingers as wide as they'll go. Hook the toes under. Inhale. Exhale, down dog. Let's stay for a few moments. You can absolutely rest in stillness, but maybe you take some movement. It's entirely up to you, but we're going to be here for about 3 deep breaths. All right. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Deeply bend the knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward. Take baby steps. Walk your feet forward into forward fold, Uttanasana. We're going to stay here for a few breaths. Maybe you have a soft bend in your knees. Maybe you have a deep bend in your knees. Maybe, again, you take movement. Maybe you rest in stillness. But 3 deep breaths here. All right. Come back to Uttanasana, forward fold. Soft bend in the knees, weight in the heels. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Push the heels down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Circle the arms, lift the chest. We're just going to keep going. So exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Push the heels down. Inhale, rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Lift the chest. We're going to do 2 more. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Push the heels down. Make the legs do the work as you lift the chest. Reach the arms. Exhale, fold forward. Last one. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Push the heels down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Lift the chest. Urdhva Hastasana. We're going to keep going. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step the right foot back. So maybe you use the blocks, maybe you don't, but we're going to drop the right knee down onto the ground. We won't be here long. Okay. So we're going to start with some more twists, some more static twists. So firm up the right hand down under the right shoulder on a block, on the mat, either way. Inhale, lengthen, crown of the head forward. Exhale, reach left fingertips up towards the sky. Now, as we're taking these twists, know that you can always just place the hand on the hip or let the arm rest alongside the torso. Fingertips don't have to reach up to the sky, but if you choose to do that, make sure that the lifted arm is not being pushed back too much. Try to avoid creating any wrinkles in the back of that upper arm and that shoulder, the back of the shoulder. So instead of creating wrinkles where the shoulder meets the torso, allow it to lengthen. One more breath here. Inhale, return the left hand down. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take your time. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Spread the fingers as wide as they'll go. Firmly push down into the ground. Inhale, shift forward, plank pose. Now, plank pose, our spine is neutral. We're certainly not twisting. I think that's obvious. But oftentimes we end up in a back bend. So can you lengthen the spine a little bit? Crown of the head forward, tailbone back, heels back. Lengthen despite facing the ground. Can you lengthen as if you're standing up tall? One more breath. Maybe drop to the knees first, but inhale, shift forward, and exhale, slowly lower. Come all the way down onto your belly, tops of the feet on the ground, hands under the shoulders. Inhale, take your back bend. Exhale, lower the chest. Inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Right. Now pick up the right foot, reach the right heel up and back. Inhale, exhale, bend the right knee, draw the knee into the belly and quietly place your right foot in between your hands. And then slowly drop the left knee down onto the ground. Again, it won't be here long. Left hand comes down under the left shoulder, maybe on a block, maybe on the mat. Okay. But lengthen first. Inhale, crown of the head forward. Exhale, right fingertips reach to the sky. Now, maybe they don't. Maybe the hands at the hip, arms rest along the torso. That's fine. But I want you to think about being a straight line from at least the shoulder to the opposite wrist. This lower arm might not become a perfectly straight line, but can you lengthen at least here? So instead of insisting that the arm goes back, a lot of students do that. This is again, oh, look how deep my stretch is. No, you're hurting your shoulder. Don't hurt your shoulder. So lengthen, get rid of any wrinkles in the back of your shoulder. One more breath. Inhale, return the right hand. Exhale, step forward, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Push the heels down. Inhale, rise, reach the arms, lift the chest. We're going to do one more. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step the left foot back. Left foot back, you're in a runner's lunge. Now, just like the first round, you're welcome to drop the back knee, or maybe this time you want to challenge yourself and keep the knee lifted off the ground, your choice, but left hand comes down onto a block or the mat. Keeping your spine in neutral at first, nose, heart, belly button, all facing the ground, facing the mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, rotate. Right fingertips might reach up, or maybe the hand rests at the hip or alongside the arm, alongside the torso. Know that always looking up is a deeper stretch in your neck, so you can always look down. Stay in a twisted lunge of your choice. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale, plant the right hand, step back, downward facing dog. Take your time, Adho Mukha Svanasana. All right, spread your fingers, create a strong foundation. Inhale, shift forward, plank pose. Now claw the mat, push your fingertips into the mat, push the base of your pointer finger into the mat. Release a little out of the wrists. Lift up and out of the armpits. Tuck the tailbone. Lengthen the legs. One more breath. Plank pose. Stay strong. And then inhale, shift forward. Exhale. Maybe drop to the knees, but slowly lower. Keep the elbows in. Tight. Use your triceps. Tops of the feet onto the ground. Hands under the shoulders. Inhale. Rise to your back bend. Exhale, lower. Inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now slowly pick up the left foot. Reach the left heel up and back. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knee, draw it into the belly. Quietly place the left foot in between your hands, runner's lunge. You're welcome to drop the back knee or keep it lifted. Okay. Put right hand under the right shoulder. Lengthen. Inhale, grow tall, crown of the head forward. Exhale, twist. Left fingertips reach up to the sky, or again, you've got options. Deepening the twist and bringing it into the neck would be to look up, but you're welcome to look down or to the side. Now really reach the right heel back, left heel down. Draw the left shoulder back. So you're rotating at the spine, not just slamming the arm back. Get rid of the wrinkles in the back of your left shoulder. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the hand down. Step forward, forward. Fold. Uttanasana. Inhale. Lift up halfway. Exhale. Fold. Push the heels down. Inhale. Rise. Lift the chest. Let's come into standing poses. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step the right foot back. And then pivot the foot. Ground the heel. Right toes will point to the right. Deeply bend the left knee. Bring your hands to the top of the left thigh. Lift the torso. Cartwheel the arms. Warrior 2. Virabhadrasana 2. So, push firmly into the heels. We're strengthening the leg, opening the hip, lengthening here. You know that. But here in the spine, we want the spine to just look like the letter T. So long, 2 long perpendicular lines. So we don't want the spine or the arms to be doing any sort of wonky thing, right? So lengthen the same way you would in Tadasana. Reach out, soften, maybe turn and look over the left shoulder. 2 deep breaths here. All right, keep the legs as they are. Right hand can come to the waist. That's the most supportive option. The thigh or the half bind, back of the hand by the lower back. Wherever you place your hand, it's resting, not pushing. Flip the left palm so it faces the ceiling. Inhale, deepen the lunge. Exhale, reverse warrior. Push the left heel down. Left hip down. Left arm up, but left shoulder down. Look wherever feels best. Up is always deeper in the neck. Down is always less in the neck. Really lengthen to the left side of the body. Imagine your left shoulder and your left hip coming away from each other. Imagine that you could breathe directly into your left lung, opening up like gills of a fish. Take 2 deep breaths right into that left lung. Inhale, warrior 2, spine long. Exhale, cartwheel the arms, bring the hands down. Come off the back heel, pause here, back in this runner's lunge. Now again, you can drop the back knee or keep it lifted. We're going to take another twist. I'm going to give you another option to make it a deeper twist than the ones we've taken already. Your right hand, instead of staying under the shoulder, it's going to come to the pinky toe side of your left foot, maybe on a block, maybe on the ground. But again, even though your arm is crossed, lengthen first. Inhale, crown of the head forward. Exhale, left fingertips up, reaching. Now, maybe you take a half bind. Maybe if your right hand is to the pinky toe side, maybe you take a full bind, which I cannot actually even demonstrate really right now, but it would look something sort of like this, I suppose. But maybe you don't. But we're going to stay in this twist. Draw the left shoulder back. Crown of the head forward. Right heel back. One more breath. Inhale, slowly return that left hand down, right hand down. Inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. Take about 5 breaths to be wherever you would like to be. Stay wherever you're at for one more breath. And come into downward facing dog. From down dog, deeply bend the knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward. Walk, step, or jump forward. Fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step the left foot back. Left foot steps all the way back. Pivot the foot. Ground the heel. Left toes point to the left. Deeply bend the right knee. Bring the hands to the top of the right thigh. Lift the torso. Cartwheel the arms. Maybe wipe your brow if it's hot in your apartment. And then settle into warrior two. Push down through the heels. Deeply bend the front knee, open the hips, so quad working hard. Inner thigh opening. Back heel, pinky toe side, pushing down, but lengthen the spine. We're not in a back bend. We're not in a side bend. Lengthen. Don't stick your seat out. Lengthen the lower back. Tuck the tailbone a little bit. A lot of times we got to tuck the tailbone here. So lengthen the spine. Soften the shoulders. Maybe look over the right shoulder. 2 breaths here. Okay. Keep the legs as they are. Left hand can either come to the waist. Again, that's the most supported option. The thigh, or take the half bind, but nowhere is your hand pushing. Flip the right palm so it faces the ceiling. Inhale, deepen the lunge. Exhale, reverse warrior. Reach right fingertips up and over. Right knee still comes forward. Right hip down, right heel down, right shoulder down away from the ear, but lengthen the side of the body. Okay, so if we can really lengthen in this side lateral bend, the twist can be deeper. Lateral bends really warm us up for twists. So again, right heel down, right hip down, but imagine the right arm up. Imagine that you could breathe directly into your right lung, opening up through the ribs like gills on a fish. 2 deep breaths. Inhale, warrior two, arms outstretched. Return to that length. Soften the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel the arms. Come to runner's lunge. Back heel off the ground, toes forward. You absolutely could drop the back knee. Left hand can stay where it's at, or bring it to the pinky toe side of that right foot. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, reach the right fingertips up. Again, you have options though. Maybe you take a half bind. Maybe you take the full bind, bringing the left arm. Yep, I can't demonstrate it. Oh wait, yes I can. Look at that. Either way, it's not a competition. It's not a contest. Take what feels good. Do what makes sense in your body. So yeah, I can take the bind, but guess what? I don't like the way it feels for very long. So take what feels good and what can you sustain for 3 more breaths. Inhale, exhale, return the hands under the shoulders. Inhale, exhale, down dog. Take your time, about 5 breaths. Do what feels good. Check in with your body. Notice the feedback you are receiving. Stay where you're at. 1 more breath. All right. And then let's come to tabletop. So from wherever you're at, come on into tabletop. From tabletop, we're going to take a seat. All right. And we're not going to be seated for very long. So I don't think you need to sit on anything. All right. So start with your legs in front of you. Knees bent, at least heels touching the ground. I bet you know where I'm going with this. Bring your hands to the backs of your thighs. Sit up sit up tall. What I was going to say is we don't want a cat or a cow here. So make sure the spine stays in neutral, shoulders relaxed. Hinge at your hips, leaning back. Now I want you to keep your feet on the ground. Oftentimes, one of my options that I like to give is to let the feet come up. But what I want you to focus on instead is lengthening, leaning back. Notice that you feel it in your core, in the center. Okay. Now we could twist. This is our last twist that takes work. So we could add work through the obliques, through the side abs by twisting here. So you're going to release your hands, fold them, interlace them, whatever. Just bring them together. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Rotate at your waist, not by your arms, at your waist. Inhale to the center. Exhale, rotate. Move with your breath. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate. Now move at your own pace, but it should not be much faster than this. If it's too quick, I can almost guarantee you are relying on momentum and not your muscles. I know we kind of just got here, but my abs are sort of already shaking. So this should feel like it takes work. If you move really quick, you get tired and sort of out of breath, but your muscles don't get tired in the way that they do when you move slow. Those are different things. Okay. So continue to lengthen every time you come to the center. Lengthen. The rotation cannot be effective if you're slouching. And so we can't get into the muscles if you're slouching. So lift your chest off and your shoulders. Keep breathing. And let's do this 1 more time on each side. Lengthen every time you return. Rotate at the waist, not at the legs. Not at the arms. Once you return back to the center, you can just release your hands down. Bring your hands behind you, let your knees sway. So just like kind of how you were when you were on your back, keeping your upper body fairly still, just move the legs. All right, let your legs go to each side 1 more time. Okay, we're going to come onto our backs. Now, I'm actually going to move my blocks out of the way because I think they will be in the way. And then I would recommend, if you've got a blanket or a pillow, even if you don't typically use something under your head, this one we're kind of going to be in an awkward position for just a second. And it's nice to just have something underneath the head. Okay. So this twist is sort of the opposite of how we started and how we often take twists, not just in my yoga class, but often in yoga in general. We often keep the shoulders sort of as the anchor and let the legs sway, and then we just let them fall to one side and stay there, and then switch sides, where the upper body stays still the whole time. Now we're going to do the opposite. So you're going to lay on your left side. So you're in a tucked fetal position. Now, often I would tell you to rest your ear on your arm to support your head and neck, but for this, you're going to reach both arms over to the left in the same direction you're looking. So your nose, your chest, your fingertips, your knees, and more or less your toes are all facing over to the left. So this is where it gets kind of awkward here in your head and your neck. I would not put a block under your head. Doesn't matter the orientation. If you're laying on your back or your side, a block is generally way too high. So, all right. So you're in this tucked fetal position. Your knees are more or less bent at a right angle. Palms are together. My hands might be potentially out of the frame, but palms are sort of together, fingertips reaching again in the same direction you're looking. Okay, you're going to lift your right arm up so it just hovers over the left. Inhale as you reach your right fingertips forward. Sweep the fingertips up and over like your right fingertips are tracing the shape of a rainbow. You sort of start to look up towards the sky. And then exhale, bring it back. Reverse that rainbow shape. Bringing the hands back closer together. Now inhale, reach away from you forward and then up and over. Exhale, rotate or close it, excuse me. Unrotate. Inhale, reach forward, up and over. Exhale, return. We're going to do a few more like this. So I mentioned at the beginning and then throughout the practice that every time we twist, we want to lengthen first. Now here we can't really lengthen the crown of the head and the tailbone in opposite directions. Hopefully we did that initially. But that's why we're sort of reaching the fingertips forward. We want to lengthen the upper back. So can you sort of draw the shoulder blades away from each other and then sweep it up and over so that the shoulder blades aren't crunching in too tightly as you come into the twist, if that makes sense. All right, do one more with your breath. And then we're going to come into a longer hold. So inhale, reach away from you, up and over, trace the shape of a rainbow, and then let that right arm come over. Now, I want at least your right hand to rest on something. So if that's where then you want to grab a block, you're welcome to do that, a pillow, whatever. But the right hand, we at least want it to rest on something. Your right shoulder may or may not make it onto the ground. I'm not really concerned with it here. Okay. Now, if your right shoulder is firmly on the ground, then you have the option to turn at your neck to look over your right shoulder. But I would not encourage you to do that if your shoulder is, again, not firmly planted on the ground. Otherwise, just keep your neck in neutral, nose up towards the sky. And then notice what it feels like to be here. What is the feedback your body is trying to give you? Are you able to listen and receive the feedback without judgment? Stay for 3 more deep breaths. If your head is turned, slowly return your head to the center and start to slowly wiggle your fingers, especially those right fingers, the right hand, the wrist. Okay, and then inhale, lift the right arm up. Exhale, sweep it up and over, coming onto your left side. And then come onto your back. Come onto your back, knees bent, feet flat, arms however. Take a few breaths. All right. All right. Same thing, second side. Come onto your right side. So come onto your right. And again, sort of this tucked fetal position, but your arms are reaching in front of you. Fingertips are reaching over to the right in the same direction that you are facing. Knees are bent at a right angle. Okay, and allow that left arm to just lift up just a little bit so it hovers over the right arm. Inhale as you reach it forward towards the wall in front of you. Sweep it up and over, trace the shape of a rainbow. Exhale, reverse that rainbow shape. Let the hands come closer together. Inhale, reach forward towards the wall in front of you, up and over. And exhale, bring the arms together. Move with your breath. Inhale, lengthen the upper back and then come into the twist. And exhale, gently come out of it. Now continue to check in with, again, that feedback from your body, whether it's your body, your breath, your mind. As we're starting to slow down, wind down, cool down, can you shift your focus gradually to the internal? Do about 2 more, just like this with your breath. And then when you're ready, come into a longer hold. So again, inhale, draw the shoulder blades away from each other, open the upper back. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up and over. Now, hopefully the left hand, at least, back of the hand can come down onto something. Maybe the shoulder does, maybe it doesn't. Considering your legs are all the way on the ground, your shoulder probably won't come down onto the ground. That's okay. But if it does, in a very firm and supported way, maybe you turn at your neck to look over your left shoulder. Or again, like I said earlier, just because you can doesn't mean you have to or should. So maybe you just keep your neck in neutral. And then relax. Again, we are quieting down. So yes, of course, be in your body. Notice what your body has to say. Maybe you also check in with your breath and your mind and your energy. Stay for 3 more breaths. And if your head is turned, return your head so your nose points to the sky. Start to slowly wiggle fingers and hands in that left arm. Inhale, pick up the left hand. Exhale, sweep it up and over, coming onto your right side, and then just come onto your back. Come onto your back in any comfortable, neutral position. Just to notice how you feel. Inhale. Exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Take some time, one last time, to move around however feels good. Maybe happy baby, maybe a full body stretch. Whatever feels right for about 5 breaths. All right, and then settle into Shavasana. Taking your time. So just come into a comfortable position where everything can rest. Allow the muscles and joints to soften. Allow the breath to be easy and effortless. And then maybe your mind can quiet and slow down. But if thoughts arise, just take the feedback and let it go. Slowly deepen your breath. Take big, full breaths and then add movement throughout your body. Rock your head side to side. Run your thumbs over your fingers. Wiggle your toes. Roll wrists and ankles. Move arms and legs. Take a full body stretch, reaching arms overhead, fingertips and toes in opposite directions. Inhale. Exhale. Hug your knees into your chest. Slowly roll over onto either side, resting your ear on your arm. Using the strength of both arms, push down into the ground, come up to a comfortable seat. Take a moment here to thank yourself for making it to your mat today. Maybe reflect on your intention. Loka samasta sukhi no bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free, and may the thoughts, words, and actions of my life contribute in some way to the happiness and freedom for all. Now let's join the hands together in front of the heart in Anjali Mudra. The light or the good in me acknowledges, respects, and bows to the light or the good in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me and following along. I'm really biased. I love twists. Oh, I feel so good right now. But I did want to share one thing as we were kind of going along. But I just wanted to share this at some point. I've been in the habit of, in the past, saying that twists are detoxifying, and that gets thrown around a lot, and it's not untrue. I think it just gets misinterpreted, and so I just wanted to just make this distinction really quick, and I think I've maybe done this before, but this idea of like sweating things out and things just sort of like pulling out toxins isn't really how it works. You can't sweat stuff. When you sweat, you're just dehydrating yourself. Or like when you are purposely working out in a hot room, all you're doing is detox, or is in for the sake of detoxifying yourself, all you're doing is dehydrating yourself. And so that's really not how that works. And things can't sort of just like magically get sucked out of any particular organ or space or whatever. And so when we say twists are detoxifying, that's probably not the right word to use, but what we mean is all this twisting is massaging the organs, so it pushes and massages your digestive tract. So it sort of squeezes and pushes things down like how we squeeze toothpaste through the tube, sort of like pushing it closer and closer and closer to the end. That's what we're doing. It's not like pulling magically. That's not how it works. We're literally just sort of massaging things so they go down their path, for lack of a better phrase. So if you ever hear a teacher say it's detoxifying, that's what they mean. If they don't know that's what they mean, that is what they mean, because that's how your body works. So, so thank you so much for joining me. If you did sweat a lot, drink some water. I'm going to pick up some water as soon as I turn this off. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.